All right, do we want to jump over to our next topic, the Nintendo Direct and all the announcements they had on that? It was pretty jam-packed, but what does it mean for the future of Nintendo and their next console? And I think we'll
Yeah.
just run down through these. I think I'll give you kind of the list and we'll pitch our thoughts back and forth. Is that cool?
Yeah. Just want to kind of go through some rapid fire, and I'll stop you at like a couple that I want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
And then you can stop it.
Yeah, of course. Right off the rip, we had the Splatoon Wave 2 expansion coming out in spring of 24. Then we had Mario versus Donkey Kong. This one looked really exciting. What were your thoughts on this one?
So I loved the Donkey Kong game, like on Game Boy back in the day. There's also like Bugs Bunny, Crazy Castle. I think was like another game that was on the Game Boy that had a very similar play style. I like this like puzzly Mario type game where it's just like there's a little bit of platforming and a little bit of you're kind of taking on Donkey Kong, but like I love that. This is a more interesting Mario game to me. I mean, Mario Wonder looks cool, but like this is more of my type of game. And my son had the same reaction when he watched the Direct today too. He was just like, "Oh, that looks cool, Dad." And I was like, "Sure does, buddy." So I will be jumping on this, man. I'm excited about this. As long as it's not like $70. But if it's 60, I might have to wait for it to drop. They get the $40 sales or something like that because I got plenty to play right now. But I am very excited about this.
Right, and to be clear, this is a remake of the Game Boy Advance one, right? So this original title
is it a remake?
Yeah, came out on the Game Boy Advance. I played it there. Very puzzly. If nobody's ever played it, you go through the levels and hit different switches and things like that to make platforms appear, disappear, yada yada, and you solve the levels that way. So it's Mario-esque, but with more puzzle nature, and you're going against Donkey Kong, which is awesome.
Yep. Yeah, remake and remaster. Seems like it's going to be a pretty common thing here, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's correct. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, not a remake or remaster, coming out January 18th, 2024. What'd you think of this one?
Looks like a cool Metroidvania, man. I think this is the same one we saw at Summer Game Fest, right? And looks good.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool. It reminded me a lot of like Ori, the Ori series. And graphically, it looks cool for a 2D side-scroller Metroidvania style. So we'll see how it does. Horizon Chase 2 is out today. That's an arcade-style racer. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle is coming out in November.
Yeah, that's a rhythm-based party game.
Okay. Spy X Anya Operation Memories coming out in 2024, and this is kind of a life simulator type game. I thought was interesting, but not for me. Heavy hitter, November 17th, Super Mario RPG. We already knew about this one, but we got a little more look into it here. What'd you think about this?
Yeah, I kind of got a little closer look at like what the combat looks like today, like or at least like it finally kind of like registered to me, especially after playing Sea of Stars and stuff, looking and kind of seeing some of that, right? Like I like some of that timing based. Sometimes especially when it's not necessary, it's just bonus, right? So you can play it without having to be timing based because that's what JRPGs are often good for, or these turn based RPGs are good for, is like not having to do twitchy timing based moves at times. But I mean, I'm jumping on this at some point. Honestly, it looks really exciting. It's a game I definitely want to play. Some of these 2D HD turn-based RPGs that are coming are. I mean, I am a sucker for this 2D HD
the art style.
This I don't want to say resurgence, whatever. But this wave that we're getting of those games because they suck me in. But I'm super excited for this, and I don't know if I'll get it day one, but I'll definitely be looking to play this one.
Yeah. Plus,
are you getting this day one?
Man, maybe. Well,
November.
Mid-November. I'm still gonna be playing Starfield. I'm gonna have Spider-Man. I might have beaten Spider-Man by then. Maybe. Might be a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
It might be a Christmas thing.
Sure.
And now you saw where Sea of Stars got their timing stuff from, because that was originally on there.
That inspiration. That's cool.
Yeah. Next up, we had Another Code Recollection. This is, I believe, a two-packer with remakes /remaster of the point-and-click adventure that was originally on the DS. And this has kind of got this like Life is Strange type vibe. What do you think of this? Anything special on this one?
Yep.
Or no?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one, like, I mean, these games are, I guess, my guilty pleasure, right? Like I just talked about Edith Finch, right? That story-driven narrative game. Mm-hmm. It typically takes place, like, I don't know why, but like it's usually like a teenage girl, which is, but like, I mean, not me, but like, But yeah, we just mentioned Life is Strange, Edith Finch, right? So in this game, not always, but like Firewatch was not. But no, I'm actually, this is one I think, I don't know if, I didn't look at what the price was for this, but this is definitely one I'm interested in and will want to jump on at a decent price.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see how they do this because if I remember right, this was on the DS as I mentioned, and the puzzles required two screens. Some of the puzzles required two
I
screens.
do like the puzzles too. Oh yeah.
So how are they gonna put
Oh
that on
okay.
here? Do they cut puzzles out? Do they change them entirely? I don't know.
Yeah, they've had a handful of ports for the 3DS, and that's or the DS or whatever the
Yeah,
the consoles. But that's a good point. I'm sure they'll figure something out. Maybe they just do side by side screens, right?
yeah,
But
yeah. You could
but
do
yeah,
that. I guess that's a good point. You just put the screen on the left and on the right, and then you kind of emulate that, right? Having the two screens.
yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, give me some puzzles. I wish it came out more like in the well. I mean, the fall. This fall is loaded, but like that to me feels like a cozy fall game. I love
did,
like cozy
yeah.
games, peaceful games in the fall, right?
Yeah. Okay, next big one. This is a new one here. Princess Peach Showtime. We got to see
Yeah.
our actual gameplay of this. So coming out March 22nd next year. What'd you think of Princess Peach Showtime?
Yeah, we got a little teaser, right, in the last direct, like in June or whatever, and it was just kind of like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be. Is this kind of just going to be like, another like, Yoshi type game, whatever, just a fine, fun game to play with family. Looks like it will be a fun one to play with family. Another one that my son was really excited about. I'm also like, you're doing all kinds of different things, right? Peach, you got sword fighting Peach, you've got Detective Peach, you've got Ninja Peach, you've got all these different peaches. But and no, this was a surprise for me. I didn't, I expected it to be a solid game because Nintendo just puts out solid games. But
Yeah.
like this is definitely better than I expected.
What were you
I think
thinking
I'm
this
looking
game was
forward to
going to be in general? Because I wasn't sure. So I had no idea that this was going to be like where you change the gameplay style. So for the listeners that may have not seen this trailer, basically you go to different areas and Peach changes into something else. So like you could be a kung fu person. Go ahead.
She's playing through acts of a play or something, right? Showtime. It's Peach
Yeah.
Showtime, and so so that's an interesting setting to start off with, right? You're not going through some world. You're playing through like these acts of a play, which is kind of unique, cool, neat, interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the gameplay style changes based on the
Yeah.
act of the play, right? So you could be a detective one time, a kung fu master the next time, and so on. And so for me, like, it looked interesting. I was like, okay, this is a really cool concept, but is it going to be, not that I need a ton of depth from a Nintendo game, but is it just going to be an inch deep on each of these things? And will it feel really
Right.
hand-holdy and in that Nintendo way, in the bad way Nintendo does, right? Sometimes they do great at that, and then sometimes it's like overly, let me hold your hand and show you to do this. Here's a little bit of kung fu. Okay, all right, on to the next thing. I don't want that. That's not for me, but I'm going to keep my eye on this one, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after that, they showed off Saga Emerald Beyond. This is a sci-fi fantasy RPG coming out in 2024. Then they had the...
You ever played it?
No, I haven't. Go ahead. I haven't played
I
any
was
of
just
those.
kidding. This there was a bunch of these types of games that were talked about in the direct, and this was probably not the one for me.
Yeah, definitely. Next up was the OG Tomb Raider trilogy. So if you remember this back for the PlayStation, all the way back years ago, this is coming out now again in February of 2024. And I thought this was cool because it's got that cool thing where you can switch the graphics mode from the old to the new. And it looked like a very true recreation. It unlocked a lot of memories for me. Like when I saw different, like the T-Rex, and then I saw the guy with the 6 arms and the swords, and all of a sudden I'm remembering this whole game, and the nostalgia hit me. Then I'm like, man, I need to play this game. What were your thoughts after seeing this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I remember those being terrible games. So I was like, whatever. I thought that like the the visual updates look pretty good, and I feel like they made Laura Croft look like from that time Angelina Jolie. I mean a stylized Angelina Jolie, but I mean it looks like a probably a decent remaster remake or whatever it is, but
Not for you.
not for me, man.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so then they showed off more Detective Pikachu, and that's coming out, I believe, in October. Thoughts on Detective Pikachu? Did you play the first one? Does this one grab you?
I didn't. I wanna like this game, and I want to be interested in this game. I just got to see how the reviews are. There's, visually it's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
I saw one shadow. I think this is the first time I've seen a shadow in any one of these trailers.
Nice.
But,
Like, throw one in there
for Detective
our boy.
Pikachu, right? But I don't know. It looked kind of neat, and I think my like again, I think my kid would enjoy this. My kids both, like I have a few kids now, but a couple of the kids that could pay attention to it would enjoy it. But we'll see. Too many
Yeah.
other games.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. So I've seen the movie and I enjoyed the movie for what it was, but I can't get behind the voices of the game after seeing the movie. And I know some people are opposite. They played the game and they're like, "Oh, I don't like these voices in the movie." But I haven't played the first game, and I'm much like you. Like, I want to like this game. I like Pokemon. I think this is a cool idea. Just when I see the trailer, it just does not grab me. And yes, it looks terrible visually.
I will say when my son has, this is the first time he's seen any of this, and the moment Pikachu starts talking, he's like in this deep, raspy voice, he just busted up laughing. He's like, "What, Pikachu doesn't talk, especially like that?" Like, he just thought it was so funny. He
You're
just
supposed to do that
thought
cute
that was
Pika, right? Pika.
right.
Cool. So after that is Trombone Champ, which is, I believe, was already out on PC before, but that's out today on the Switch with some cool Switch-only type features with the Joy-Con. What was your thoughts on Trombone Champ?
This looked hilarious. So I thought this, like, because it had like what looked like a me in the background, so I just assumed this was like one of those wacky Nintendo games that they throw out on occasion, right?
Like a Wii Sports,
and I was
Switch
like,
or something.
right. And I found out that that they've had this been out on PC for a year. I was like, oh, I guess this is not a Nintendo game. I thought it looked hilarious. It looked like the they had the two different control methods. One was just the gyro control or whatever, and then they had like one that like uses the IR sensor, and it's like looks like a theremin or whatever, but I don't know. This looks like it could be. I thought it looked like it could be some wacky fun. Knowing it's out on PC, I'm probably gonna look and see like how it's been received.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked like it could be really like it could be lame, but it could also be hilarious.
It could be like a hilarious party or family game, right? Especially if it's like in the
Right.
$5 to $10 range.
You get the right you get the right group together, and
Yeah.
just have some laughs, right?
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
it's got
absolutely.
50 songs. You're moving the Joy-Con to try and hit the correct notes or the correct pitch and play through these songs. And you can play multiplayer at the same time, and you're all trying to do this, and it's just wacky, hilarious, musical fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Following this was Battle Crush coming out in spring 2024. It's like an arena battle royale fighting game. It looked like it didn't know what it wanted to be. To me, I wasn't totally interested. How about you?
Yeah. I kind of just like I might need to see more. I've kind of there's some things I was like, oh, this might be neat, but like overall, I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't know. I don't need another battle royale or what, But I mean, it wasn't just like your typical shooter battle royale. So I was just like, I don't know, maybe like the platforms like falling off as opposed to just the arena, like the barrier shrinking or whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me like some of those games in Fusion Frenzy. There was like that one like where you're in the balls or whatever, and the arena drops off. That's what it made me think of. But
Yeah, similar to Fall Guys has a couple modes like that too, where the floor falls out.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there's too many good games and stuff, and that's just too low tier. And I'll play indie games. I'll definitely try things out. This one's just not for me. War Tales out now. This one like caught my eye because of the theme. You don't always catch this on like a Switch or whatever, but this looks like a CRPG, a classic RPG, similar to Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, kind of that point-click turn-based fantasy setting. What'd you think when this one came up on the screen?
Yeah, the first thing I thought of was because I haven't played any of the Baldur's Gate games before, but I thought of Wasteland that we've played a little bit of, and I'm interested in this for sure. I want to see how it's like. Again, I'm gonna look and see what people think of it and stuff because this looks like my kind of game. I like a little of these RPGs. I thought it had a cool tone to it. It's something pretty cool. I mean.
I think you need to go. You need to go play Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Enhanced Edition. Then I think it's on the Switch. You can play on there
or Steam Deck.
Yeah, or Steam Deck. Like if that's right up your alley, that's what this looked like. And those are Baldur's Gate 2 is considered one of the greatest games of all time, like in that top 50, top 100. So To me, it's like, okay, why would I play War Tales when I can play this one? Because I doubt War Tales is going to be one of the
Oh,
goats.
okay.
But
Yeah,
it
I
could be
was
good.
wondering if maybe it's a shorter game, so it's like I can get the full
Get
experience
that
in lesser
taste and see
time.
if you like it. Yeah, that's a fair
Yeah,
point.
yeah, but and then it's like I have a hard time the thought of going and playing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, 1 or 2 when it's just like Baldur's Gate 3 is coming to the Xbox soon. It's like why would I play one of these older Baldur?
You
They'd be
got to
like
be
going
into
back and
it.
playing Witcher 1 and 2, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just like when Witcher 3 exists. It's hard to think that if Baldur's Gate 3 didn't exist, then yeah, maybe
Might be a different
maybe I jump
story.
into the old Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this, they showed Contra Operation Galuga, and that's coming out in 2024. And this, my understanding is, this is a reimagining of the original game. So for all intents and purposes, this is pretty much Contra, just redone with some changes and stuff like that. So did this grab you? You're a Contra fan, or
I like Contra. I'm interested in Contra, but like, dude, those animations, those character animations. Have you you play a game on your phone and you get those one games where it's like you pull the pin and the water drops or the
yeah,
treasure
yeah.
drops or the guy, dude, those animations look like just that guy, right? Like I'm just like this looks like the cheapest little like I don't know those animations.
The phone ads you
and
get
it's also
scrolling Instagram, right?
awful.
And, yeah,
And maybe they were going for that, and I just kind of wasn't like it just didn't click for me right now, or maybe it will at some point. But like, because like I'm a Contra fan, but some of the other stuff looked good. Like I thought some of the bosses and stuff looked good, and things like that. So, this is. I mean, I like Contra. I like a good like just shmup,
good
and
challenge. Yeah.
yeah, and
So you'll look at it and check out the price next year. Maybe it's a thing you get.
yeah, or I might just jump into like one of the Contra collections. It just makes
Yeah,
me
it's like
just,
why would I get this?
right.
This feels
Yeah,
weird
unless
for
people would
Contra
come.
fans, right?
Yeah, if this comes out and Contra fans are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, then I might jump on it. But
Right.
otherwise, it's like I could get a Contra collection and have a bunch of Contra games.
Yeah, yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, so this next one from Atlas looked pretty cool, and this is tactical RPG Unicorn Overlord. I'm not so sure about the name; doesn't scream tactical RPG to me, but the trailer looked cool. What are your thoughts on Unicorn Overlord?
My thoughts are they threw something into a name generator, and this is what it puked out.
They asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, right. Give me the name of a game.
Yeah.
I don't know what that name is, but otherwise, I thought the game looked really cool. It's kind of some of these games, these like the Japanese. There's like the tactical RPGs. There's the sci-fi RPG. There was so there were a few things that kind of blur together a little bit in my head. But no, this was one that I know specifically. I was looking at. Vanillaware, I think, has a pretty good reputation. Atlas obviously has a great reputation. I've kind of had this itch for a little while for a little tactical RPG or something. I don't want to dive into something as long as Fire Emblem. So maybe I don't know, maybe I do, but and I like the pixel art. Something about the pixel art just seems so accessible to me, and especially if I'm going to play in handheld and this style of game. This one and another one that's kind of similar. Down the road, I will be excited for.
Yeah,
probably.
and this just to be clear to the audio only listeners that maybe didn't see the director of this specific trailer. There's no unicorns that we can tell in this. There's no pink and purple and rainbows. This looked very much like you said a Fire Emblem with the color palette of like a Octopath Traveler or something like that. That was kind of the vibe you're getting from this game. And then they call it Unicorn Overlord, which I think has to do with the story. But maybe you could have thought of a better name.
Sure.
So after that, they showed one we knew was coming in summer of 24, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. So this is the kind of remaster of Luigi's Mansion. Have you played any Luigi's Mansion's games before, and does this interest you?
This is Dark Moon, right?
Yeah, yes.
So I played a little bit of was it the old download play or whatever it was, like the that you could play where I didn't have to have a cartridge, I could play from somebody else or whatever with you back in the 3DS a little bit. I played a little bit. It was I don't know, it was fine. If I'm gonna play Luigi's Mansion though, because I haven't played a bunch of these, I'm probably just going to jump into Luigi's Mansion 3, which was really well received. And I think this would be a great game to play with Luigi's Mansion 3. It makes me want to play Luigi's Mansion 3. That's what I'll say. Like, I was like, okay, this is definitely a good, especially in October. I'm like, it would be a great game to like jump into with my kid. And I think he would have a hoop playing this.
Yeah, definitely. I think you pick it up a little bit later on, maybe on the Nintendo, the vouchers program. Pick that up.
Yeah, right.
Play it in the fall of next year. But yeah, this was Dark Moon. So in other countries like Japan, this was just called Luigi's Mansion 2.
It's weird that it comes out in summer.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. So
yeah,
it's very weird. Maybe because of some console announcements we're gonna have coming up. We'll see. But I played the first Luigi's Mansion. I wore the disc out on my GameCube. I love that game so much. It's very unique and cool. Just a way to get into this. Like, I don't even know how to describe the genre. Like, what is the genre?
Yeah.
The Ghostbuster genre. I don't know.
Ghostbuster. Yeah. Ghost vacuuming. Right?
Yeah, you just vacuum up these ghosts. But it's really cool. There's some challenge to it. And number 2 is good as well. Really looking forward to this. I'll probably pick it up and probably in the fall, just like you. And then they took a break in the action here to go away from games, but over to Nintendo Museum. So I think they had announced this before, but they were giving an update on this. And this is in Kyoto, and they expect it to be ready in March 24. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It sounds really fascinating. It's if I ever make my way to Kyoto.
Yeah, so
be sure to stop by.
Yeah, if you're in Japan, right, like this will go onto your list of tourist things to do. Go to the Nintendo Museum, which I think is cool, right? Nintendo has a huge history. They helped launch modern games as we know it, or in-home games, along with some other consoles and things like that. But I mean, the NES was the defining kind of moment that propelled.
I would say Nintendo is responsible for the most crucial, is the most crucial party for video games as they are today.
Yeah, 100%. So then they jump back into games a little bit, games adjacent with Amiibo. So we got an update on the Zelda and Ganondorf Amiibos coming out. Then we got the Noah and Mio. I don't want to say it wrong.
Mio from Xenoblade 3, right?
Yep, Chronicles Xenoblade 3. Yeah. Yep. And then also Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which was cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that finishes up all of the Smash Amiibo. Now there is an Amiibo for every Smash character, which my goodness. That Sakurai is insane.
Yeah, he's insane.
Like just looking at all those amiibo on a screen, it's just like he puts so much time and development into each one of those characters. Yeah. Like I don't know, something about seeing all those on the screen is just like wow.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane, and it is cool. I mean, amiibo are very cool. I don't have a ton of them, but I have a few, especially the Zelda ones, and they're cool to use in the game, but also cool to have on your your shelf or whatever. So. Awesome that they're rounding out that collection. We'll see what Sakurai is up to next and what he's going to play. I think he tweeted that he was playing Starfield or something, or like already.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, he's got like 150 hours into it because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything like lightly, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
I don't know if it's 150 hours, but I would imagine he is
he's all in,
fully deep into it.
So maybe we'll see Starfield inspiration in his next game. So then they jump back into games and they come out with a cool one that was rumored / leaked in the past few days, but kind of out of nowhere for the general audience. F-Zero 99 out today, and this is going back to their 99 format, like Tetris 99, the Battle Royale.
Mario 35.
Yeah, Battle Royale of these old games, which is kind of a cool mashup, right? So what did you think of F-Zero 99?
Give it to me, man. I've never really played any F-Zero, so it'll be kind of cool to get see where it started, kind of, but also be kind of put it in a modern multiplayer format kind of thing. I love Tetris 99 when that came out. I haven't played it in a long time, but I love Tetris. But no, I wanted to even honestly try this out today. So we're recording today is when the direct happened, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into this and try it out. So. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Have you played F-Zero in the past?
Yeah, I've played F-Zero in the past. With some friends when I was younger, and it's cool. Like F-Zero's not my favorite racing thing ever. I'm not a huge racing guy. Like it's more like, hey, let's play a racing game together. I'm not going to go out and buy or download a racing game on my own to play usually. But F-Zero 99, perfect mashup. Like you said, bring the old in with the new concept, and hey, it's out today, so that's really cool.
Maybe we get a new one down the road, right?
Yeah, maybe they're testing the waters to see how many people go out. If you want a
Right.
new F-Zero, go out and play this. That way they know people are interested
Yeah.
in
Hopefully they
F-Zero.
at least get 99.
Like, no, yeah, you're like in the queue and it's just 50 people. No, I'm sure plenty of people are trying that out.
I'm
So
sure.
next up, we had a pixel art crafting RPG, Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story. And this is coming out in 2024. I don't play a lot of League of Legends. I've played it in and out, so I'm not entirely familiar like with the story and everything. But I mean, this looks somewhat interesting. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, it looked cozy. It looked like, as far as aesthetics, it looked like right up my alley. Was it Arcane? Was the anime that came
On
or the
Netflix?
animated show? Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah.
I haven't played any League of Legends before, but that show sucked me into the lore of League of Legends. I'm like, oh, like League of Legends seems like I'm into this universe now. This pixel art crafting RPG. I'm like, okay, yeah, this sounds like something that could be, my speed. I crafting RPG sounds like Stardew Valley to me. So,
Yeah.
and I thought it looked good. And then,
And that wasn't
they
the
also,
only League of Legends thing. They also
yeah,
had Song of New coming out in November, and this is like a wintry League of Legends third person story adventure thing. And it kind of caught me off guard. I don't know if I should be interested in it or not. I'm kind of stuck in the
yeah.
middle. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting to see that what Riot's doing with the League of Legends lore, and I honestly like they're doing things that I'm like I want a lot of people to or a lot of devs, a lot of publishers with some like interesting IP to do this
To
type of
branch
thing,
out and
right?
experiment and do these different types of games. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're seeing more of that, right? Like I think was this called the metaverse or whatever, where like they're just kind of or they're verses
Yeah.
something verse. Like we got the Witcher verse, we got the
Yeah.
all that stuff. But and Nintendo is branching out with like movies and stuff now. So I but like I like this idea of taking IP and then like making different types of video games. I'd love to see more with like say Zelda. Get like let's get some more like a Chic game and let's get
There's
some
so
kind
much
of
there to dive into in the Zelda
right.
world. Yeah.
Give me a Beetle meets Moon.
It's a lot.
What's the one where
That's a lot of risk, though, man.
it is,
Yeah.
I suppose, but like I don't know, just you throw it out there for kind of something spin. I mean, and Nintendo does that some with Mario, right? Like they've got the
Yeah.
Peach, they've got they've got all these different things. I just love to see more of that for the IP that I love. I want to see
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think that's a fair ask. If you're listening to the show, let us know in the comments what type of universe or lores that you want to see expanded on in different types of games, and maybe it lines up with some of ours. So the next one,
Yeah, I think that'd be a.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I gotta plug your Discord again, but I think that'd be a good. We'll throw that in as a topic in the Discord.
yeah, that's a good idea.
For sure.
We'll post that up. So next up, they had WarioWare Move It coming out in November. I mean, WarioWares are always cool, so I'm interested in this. I'm not going to rush out to buy it, but it's wacky fun, usually. So same feeling for you.
Yeah. I'm curious if my son would love this or get incredibly frustrated with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. After this, they had Euden Chronicle 100 Heroes. This is in April 23 of next year. And it's a 2D HD Suikoden spiritual successor. Is this catching you, hooking you in, or no?
Oh yeah, this is the 2D HD, right? Like one is a square, but this had the 2D HD look. Man, that is the pixel art at its peak to me, and it really nails the aesthetic for me, and yeah, I'm into it. This is the one, the most, I think probably the most appealing one to me, and there were a few that were out of this.
Yeah, and it looks pretty awesome, to be honest. So I'll definitely look forward to that. Eastward Octopia. I have no major opinion on this. Comes out holiday 23, but this is an expansion to the current Eastward game, and I know you definitely have thoughts because you've played Eastward.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what are you thinking here? What is this, and what are you thinking?
I love Eastward. What I've played so far. I will finish. I'll beat the base game here at some point. And it came up, and I just bring up my son again, but he's just like, "Dad, we have this game. We love this game. We know this game."
Yeah.
And so like that was cool. But I'm just like, I don't know. I've got Stardew Valley. I don't know that I need to play Stardew Valley in Eastward. So,
And so that's what this expansion looked like to you. It's kind of like a farming type thing.
Yeah, yeah. It looked very much like that. Like it was just like, oh, do some of these things like crafting and manage a storefront or something like that. And then like also you saw them like dealing with crops and stuff, and I was just like, I mean, cool, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a great implementation of it, but man, it's hard to top Stardew Valley, and it's just like if I'm gonna do that in a game like this, it already kind of has a similar look, right? And it's just like Stardew Valley just does it. So to me, it's done. They've done it better than anybody so far. So, I haven't tried most of those games, but I guess based on reviews and things like that, it's just like Stardew Valley clone, and just I'll play just Stardew Valley if I'm gonna do
right.
it.
Yeah. DLC didn't hook me in here much, but I also haven't played the base game. It is installed on my Xbox through Game Pass.
It's good. The game is good.
I'll try it out. If you're a listener to the show and you're mad at me for this, sorry. But if you have thoughts and you feel like Evan does and you love this game, shout out and let us know. After this was Wargroove 2, and this is coming out in October of this year, and it's a console exclusive. I'll go to you first. I do have thoughts on this game. What's your quick reaction to this?
Yeah, so it's interesting that that it's a console exclusive when we have like Advance Wars.
Yeah.
And so Advance Wars just sold, didn't sell very well for Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, this game right now is I think like $16 you can pre-order it for, as opposed to $60 that Advance Wars collection is. So I'm like, I don't know that I could justify buying Advance Wars when 90% of the experience exists for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
On my side, I was so excited when the first Wargroove came out because we had no Advance Wars for a long time, right? And we didn't know a new thing was coming out. So I bought Wargroove and I was let down. It just did not do the things that Advance Wars did, and if it did, it wasn't as good. And I felt there was a lot of tutorial and hand holding and kind of lame dialogue. And I was like, I just want Advance Wars. And then they came out with the Advance Wars collection, which I haven't jumped into yet because I've already played those games. Like it was a little hard for me to go back to it, especially at that price point.
A new one.
Yeah, I want a new one.
Probably not gonna get it after that.
Yeah, exactly. So this Wargroove 2, I'm like, okay, cool, something new. Maybe they learned from the last time, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this. I love this type of game. I played the heck out of all the Advance Wars games, so I'll watch this one, see the reviews, and see some more gameplay footage. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you have hopes after, or you just have? I wasn't sure if you had no hopes after that first one. You're like, I don't want to see this. I want to see somebody else do it. But you do have hopes that they've learned from and improved.
Yeah, I hope
cool.
they do. And I honestly didn't think there was going to be a second one, so I was kind of like pleasantly surprised when I saw this on here. So yeah, I'm ready to give it a shot.
Is this comparable? You played Into the Breach too and loved Into the Breach. Is this comparable to that kind of gameplay?
It's somewhat similar. Into the Breach is more simplified in a way. You're more limited in your options, right? And that's by design, right? They limit your options. It's a very tight
It streamlines to the combat experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a little more open. This is more akin to the Advance Wars. So. After that, they had Dave the Diver. This was really exciting, I thought, coming out at the end of October. This is a timed exclusive for consoles. This is, of course, the hit indie game that's already on PC that has been raved about over the past few months. You're basically diving under the ocean. You're catching fish. You're taking them up to make them in a restaurant, sushi, whatever. And that's kind of the gameplay loop, right? And it's got nothing but rave reviews. What'd you think about seeing Dave the Diver coming to Nintendo Switch as a timed exclusive?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if somebody says, "Hey, I'm thinking about this game where you're a fisherman and that runs a fisherman by day that runs a sushi restaurant by night," you're like, "Oh, that's obviously $1 million idea," right? No, but honestly, this thing seems to be getting like rave. Like everybody's loving this on PC. It looks like it has a lot of charm. It looks like it's a really fun game. It looks like there's like a lot of depth to it. almost, I don't know why Stardew Valley kind of, maybe it's because I've just been thinking about Stardew Valley, but it kind of has, like it could have that kind of booming success where there's just that much depth to it, right? While also being like just having the hook.
Yeah.
I'm very, 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 very interested in Dave the Diver if I find the time to dive into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So looking forward to this. Now the question for you is, it's already on PC. You have a Steam Deck. Do you just wait and get it on a sale on Steam Deck? The price will ultimately probably be lower on that versus the Switch, or do you play it on the Switch?
Probably wherever it's cheapest. I tend to like playing on the Switch for whatever reason more. Probably because I've got that OLED and it's stinking, the OLED screen
great,
is so
right?
much nicer.
And this game would look really good.
Especially for an indie game, right? Like Steam gives me better performance, but the OLED gives me better visuals as long as the performance, as long as it's not too taxing on the hardware.
Right.
So, this doesn't look like it's going to be taxing on any hardware. So,
so your platform
we'll
choice
see.
for this is probably Switch, depending on the price.
Yeah. If the price is close, and sometimes you see a little bit of a Switch tax, but oftentimes there's a lot of sales on the eShop for like these indies and stuff that come out. So we'll see.
Okay, and then they hit us with a DLC, the final wave. They did say final of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. This is Wave 6 coming out this holiday. There's a new track, so that's the Daisy Circuit track from Mario Kart Wii. And then they added some new characters, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, and then Pauline and Peachette from the Mario Kart Tour mobile game. What's your thoughts on the final wave here? And maybe after that, give me your thoughts on it being the final wave and what that means for Mario Kart going forward.
So I think it's a brand new track, and then also the Daisy Circuit track from Mario Kart Wii.
Yep.
If I understood correctly.
Yep.
But yeah, has Peachette existed anywhere before? I don't know. I was surprised to see Peachette. Oh, I guess she has because she's in Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really played any Mario Kart Tour, so
yeah, me either.
No, I'm just excited to finally have some Diddy Kong racing. But no, I've played most of the other DLC waves. They're great. I really enjoyed the new tracks. Mario Kart 8 is. It's kind of the penultimate. It's the
gift that keeps on giving.
It really is, and we want Mario Kart 9, but like as far as like what this Mario Kart 8 experience offers, like Mario Kart 9 doesn't need to be any kind of like it doesn't need to iterate on what Mario Kart 8 offers. I think it just needs to reinvent Mario Kart. Give us a brand new experience. Just because they're like. Mario Kart 8 does it. Mario Kart 8 is at its best. I kind of feel the same way, right, with Smash Ultimate, right? Like it's
the penultimate version, right? It's like all these things and lessons we've learned. Here's the ultimate package. Mario Kart 8, right?
Absolutely.
So they need to come out with the next one and do something like akin to what Double Dash did. And like some big change, right?
Give me Double Dash too. That would be really. I didn't play very much of Double Dash at all, so I would love to revisit that as a gameplay and just something fresh and new, or at least something we haven't had in like 20 years or whatever. So
right, and so is Mario Kart 9 actually Mario Kart Tour, and is the next one going to be Mario Kart 10?
All right, Spawn Wave,
or is it like 7, 8, 9? So now you go straight to 10.
7, 8, 9.
There's other companies that have done that. There was no
That's true.
iPhone 9, right?
That's true. People hate the number 9 for whatever reason. Yeah. There's no Windows 9, right? They was one from Windows 8 to Windows 10.
Yeah.
But
the game they showed after this was Among Us, a new map, Fungal.
Welcome to the Fungal.
Yeah, welcome to the Fungal. It's coming out in October. Look, I played Among Us. It's fun. I think it depends on the group you have and the people you get together. It's more about like playing together in these crazy moments and getting each other to believe each other and that type of thing. So this is cool for Among Us fans. I'm not a big fan. How about you?
I've never played. It looks interesting to me, but like I've just never had like the pull to play. Because like I said, you want to play with people, and I've just never like been in the time and place or whatever where it's just like, hey, let's play Among Us. So, yeah. And then this was followed by Sizzle Reel, right? With a bunch of games in here that are already announced and stuff. And then
the final drop was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remaster coming out next year. This was a pretty good mic drop. Again, not a new game, another remaster, remake, port. A lot of those in this direct, but this is a good mic drop, I think, for them on this event. What'd you think when you saw this game? Have you played Paper Mario before? Have you played the Thousand Year Door?
Yeah, I played like 20 minutes of the Thousand Year Door, and then it was just kind of like, this is for me. I don't know if it was the timing that I played it. I think it was like you and I like split went halvesies in on a collection of GameCube games in college, and this was one that I got out of that. And I popped it in, played it for a little bit, and then I don't know. I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna jump into something else. I didn't know what to expect from it. I didn't know fully what it was. Paper Mario never really appealed to me, but like I'm looking at this and people love this game, right? So really the two best Mario RPGs are widely considered the two best Mario RPGs are Super Mario RPG and Thousand Year Door. We saw both of these in this direct, and we got them, or we're getting them within a year, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I might have to jump into it.
I'm definitely interested in picking this up as well, and I do think, to your point, it's
very good,
very cool for fans, right? That have been waiting a long time for these, and they've got them back now.
Visually it looked awesome.
Yeah. And I've played this one. I've played the original Paper Mario. I would happily jump back into this and play it, and I'll be looking forward to it next year. Again, I think I'm gonna pick some of these games up on that Nintendo voucher program, man. You get some eShop credit really cheap. You buy the vouchers and you get 2 games. Hey, there you go. Good deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was the Nintendo Direct event. What were your thoughts on the Direct? I think it was jam-packed for 40 minutes, but did they show enough? Of what they showed, what does that tell you about their long-term strategy? And we just recently talked about the Switch 2 or the Super Nintendo Switch or whatever it may be called potentially coming out next year. How does this allude to that, or maybe it doesn't? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, there were no major AAA games show, right, for first party at least, or really any at all. I don't think in this direct, it was loaded. It was packed with games, and honestly, some great looking games. But it's all like AA, which AA indie games and stuff. Which I mean, we love a lot of different. You can find a lot of great games at that size, and honestly, they can be a lot more consumable, right? Okay, here's a 20-hour game, right? At $50 or $60 is that, I guess $60 is the new $50, but or 40 or $50, but yeah. So that was really cool, and it felt like there was a little bit of something for everyone, unless all you're looking for is AAA. But to me, this says that all the AAA devs in Nintendo right now are working on some other console, and so
they holding
to me,
stuff back. You think they're holding titles back that are ready?
Absolutely. I think so. You want to see something like the Zelda remasters from the Wii U, the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are done, ready to go, and they're just sitting there. Obviously, like you're a few months removed from Tears of the Kingdom release, so this was not the time slot for it. I think maybe we see those in like a January, February, March direct. We'll see what Nintendo's schedule looks like as far as directs and everything next year, because we all expect hardware to be shown. But I think. Oh man, what were we talking about?
Yep, I'll cut this part. So, if the Super Switch is coming out next year, we talked about launch titles a little bit before. So you're thinking, will the Zelda remakes, the Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker one, come launch with that? Because they're not going to have the next Zelda game ready yet, so maybe launch that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we get something with Zelda Mario next year. Yeah, I think they're just like, we have these. We'll just release them when it makes sense. And if they have a 2D Zelda or something ready next year, then they just hold it back another year. But I don't know. I kind of expect us to see the remasters next year. I think they'll come to the Switch, and they'll be backwards compatible with. I think. I don't know. That's hard to tell. I just stinking want them though. I've been wanting them. I've like, but because I haven't played either of those games really. I played, I don't know, probably 10 hours of Wind Waker and 5 to 10 hours of Wind Waker and like 3 hours of Twilight Princess.
And they're both so good.
One thing I was really missing from this direct, I was hoping we would get a Metroid game. You know, I was hoping we would get one of the. I didn't expect to see Metroid Prime 4. I was maybe hoping for it. I think we start seeing that they're going to announce that with as a cross gen title, and like that's when we're going to see it again. Is when it's ready to like come out, because it's been so long. It's like, don't tell us something about it, right? Like, but anyway, so I was hoping to see though Metroid 2 Prime 2 remaster, or maybe a combo pack of like Metroid Prime 2 and 3, but get like a shadow drop kind of like we have, but we didn't see that, and that to me kind of like has me a little concerned with where Metroid Prime 4 is, because I think that's like I was thinking like we might get a cadence of Metroid Prime Remaster like when we got that in January or February or whatever it was. And then it's like, all right, toward the end of the year, we'll get 2 and 3, or even like I thought, like maybe we'll get 2 in summer and 3 at the end of the year, and then boom, the spring of or early 2024, we get Metroid Prime 4.
You're expecting now I'm thinking rhyme and reason from Nintendo when they don't do that.
Yeah,
they march to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah, right. But we didn't get that, so that's fine. I really think Prime 4 is going to be a cross-gen release, because I think they've got to release it on the Switch, because they said it's coming to the Switch, right? Like they announced it like when the first E3 after the Switch came out, I think. And obviously they went back to the drawing board and moved from Bandai to Retro. But
I mean, that's got to tell you that there's probably backwards compat, right? Maybe not physical cartridges per se, that may still be up in the air, but the fact that they said, hey, Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a Switch game. At this point, we've got this direct today that showed a lot of remakes, remasters, ports, nothing new, no heavy hitters. Tells me they're saving them for the next console. Metroid 4 would be one of those, but they already committed to it being on the Switch, so they're going to have to do what you said, cross-gen release on both, and I think that alludes to the backwards compat of this next console. And we'll have to see what happens early next year. I know that March month is getting tossed around as either announcement or release. I think release is way too soon, as much as I'd love to see it. But there's crazier things have happened, especially with Nintendo. But maybe as we get closer to there, we're gonna find some more out. It's
making me feel good about my my July prediction, right?
Yeah,
so,
March announcement, July release. Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be so sick. But I'm gonna pick out something you mentioned there. So, do you think there's a world that Nintendo does backwards compatibility, but not with physical carts? That they only do digital?
And yes, just because they do weird things. They do weird consumer, not so friendly things sometimes. Not in a malicious way, but they just do things that don't make sense. Like, why would you do that? And they're just like, we're
almost
Nintendo.
Naive, right?
Yeah, naive. Yeah, it's like, you haven't seen the gaming industry and how they do things the past 2 decades. So, like, do you not get the notes or what?
Yeah, that sounds like a anti-consumer move in a way of technological progress. That to me, I absolutely think there's no world Nintendo says, hey, if you bought digitally, right, you can keep these games, but if you bought it physically, well, screw you. Because you're not the only one that shares the sentiment that they could do this digital only thing. I don't think there's a world. It's going to be, I mean, my prediction is it's going to be like the DS to the 3DS, right? Like that cartridge slot's maybe a little bit wider, has a little bit of a notch, or like the Game Boy to the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, right? Like the carts just fit maybe a little bit differently, so you can't fit the new carts into the old system, but you can fit the old carts in the new system.
Would they release an adapter with it, you think? Where it's like, hey, here's a little adapter for your games, plug them in.
I mean,
or they just
maybe they just have to. I think it just like either fits in the slot, like I said, like DS games fit into the 3DS slot, or if somehow they just completely change the media or don't offer it at all. I don't think they go digital only, but I would think they go digital only and have a Switch cart slot for previous gen before they would go. You can only play your digital games. Right. But I don't think it'll go digital only. But yeah, I think like the Game Boy Advance slot on the original DS, right? Like that would be. But I think the form factor is something that they'll fit the current Switch carts into the new slot.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, listeners, followers, viewers, jump on the Discord or into the comments and let us know what you think about this and who you side with. Is it going to be digital only like I'm thinking, or will you get a physical based backwards compat like Evan's thinking here? Hey, thanks for watching, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this and new episodes of the Remote Play Gaming Podcast every other Wednesday. You can join the conversation by leaving a comment below, or check out our Discord linked in the description. Farewell for now, and keep gaming.